So saith the wise Alondo.
Welcome to the 6th episode of Mages and Murderdads. I'm Cameron.
And I'm Danny.
And today we're talking about Baldur's Gate. Same as we're talking about every time.
Yeah, we're talking about a video game, and we're recording it, and here it is for you.
And you know, I have at this point I have transcended the joke of not Googling other versions of this podcast, other podcasts about Baldur's Gate. I've transcended it. I'm not even going to make it anymore.
You're not going to make it. You've transcended it so hard, you're not even mentioning it right now.
I would not even talk about it if you put my feet to the fire.
Whoa.
It would be illegal.
Extreme stuff.
So extreme. Extreme French cinema. Here we go. All right, so we played last time on the show. Last time on the show, we went to the Iron Throne's Iron Mine.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
That's how they can afford to build these thrones.
Mm-hmm. It's cross-brand promotion. Mine Throne. So we went all the way down to the bottom of that, and we knew to go there because of Tazok, who was not smoted.
I mean, frankly, we knew to go there because of this enhanced edition is really it beats you over the head with all the breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot go from one area to the next without some joker coming up and shouting at you where you need to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how I get everywhere my normal day to day. You're telling me
your
that's
regular
weird?
Life, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we go there. We go all the way to the bottom. Davorn was there. Daviarn. It's got a lot of vowels in his name.
Mm-hmm.
And we killed him. And the last episode ended, boom, right there. Action moment. You leave him on a cliffhanger. It's like the end of a fantasy novel.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, the cliffhanger is a dead wizard.
That's every cliffhanger as far as I'm concerned. Dead wizard equals... that's the end of the Brothers Karamazov. That's the end of, I don't know...
The movie cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone.
Mm-hmm. Dead wizard. That's why he couldn't hold on to that.
Well, no, that's how he was able to let go and fall. The dead wizard caught him, broke his fall.
John Lithgow. But before we get into the deep plot-based information that we really care about here, what do you think a story meeting for this game looked like, Danny?
I think it started going around the table and asking each writer, each story maker,
no bad ideas, just
no bad ideas. Let's get it out there.
Yeah.
Let's brainstorm. And so you'll have one person, one writer, one storyteller say something like, "You know what? I want some high fantasy stuff. I want Elminster in there. I want to feel like I'm a part of a grand adventure and in the forgotten realms." And they said, "Oh, that's cool." And then you go to the next one. That person says, "Hey, I want a conspiracy mystery game. I want to unravel a mystery." And, "Oh, that's cool." And another person, uses his forefinger to push his glasses up his brow. Up his nose, and he says, I want an economic thriller, right? I want markets moving and crashing. I want that kind of thing." And so after they got all the way around the table, they said, "Well, let's just do all of that. Let's literally implement all of these story ideas, and we will meld them into one, and then we'll all be happy."
They made a mental map. They brainstormed it out. They made sure it worked. But the astonishing thing is, because none of that is exaggeration. This is such a strange game. When I played it, when I was younger, I guess it did not bother me. I guess it doesn't bother me now, but it didn't stand out to me how just impossibly weird this is. That the whole game is like ostensibly about a dude or a character who rolls around just doing whatever the hell you do in a fantasy world. But all of that is supported by like other people doing trade agreements in the background.
Yeah.
And so when we get to the bottom of this mine, we killed Davorn. We met his apprentice. I met his apprentice. Did you talk to the apprentice?
Yeah. A matter of fact, I think last episode you talked to the apprentice, and the apprentice directed you to open a chest, and that chest killed you. No, that was a different person.
Yeah, that was in
Tazok's
tent.
house. That was in the tent. No, I don't think I talked to the apprentice.
I didn't see the apprentice, like visually. I ended up wandering around a lot, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I just like straight up didn't see him until I was standing right beside him. I thought he was my own party member for a while. But he's literally just a dude, and he's like, "Hey, I was Davorn's apprentice. Don't kill me." And you can like kind of press him for plot details. He tells you all kinds of different stuff, but he's very direct. He's like, "Look, the whole point of this mine was to make sure that when the Sword Coast is panicking about the lack of iron, that we could just ride in and save everybody." And I think he uses that exact language. He says, "You know, we could literally ride in and save the day." So that's it. That's the whole plot of the game, basically.
Thus far.
Up to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Even through this episode today.
And that's the bizarre thing, right? Is you do this, and you foiled the plot.
Yeah, it's done.
Right?
It's done.
It's done, and yet, ... Like, I guess the implication is, well, this organization, it's up to no good. Mm-hmm. So maybe continue to meddle in their affairs and see where that takes you. Keep on shaking that tree.
Mm-hmm. And
see what falls out.
And in that respect, I think the game's actually brilliant. Just because it is the escalation that like a good D&D campaign requires, right? Like it's a great funnel.
You've got these mini resolutions interspersed where you think you've actually made a difference. Oh, you shut down the mine, but there's still the greater looming threat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But there's also I don't know if 2nd edition or 2.5 had this kind of set of divisions to it, but in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, there's a lot of talk about I don't remember the exact names, but it's levels 1 through 5 is the local hero, and levels 5 through 10 is the regional hero, and 10 through 15 is continental hero, and then after that's the planar hero. The idea that your sphere of influence gets bigger, the more advanced or progressed your character is. And I like that Baldur's Gate is demonstrating that in a cool way, right? You're only important in the town up until this point, and now you're important to the region, and now we're about to be important to the city. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's fun. I think 4th had Heroic, Paragon, and Epic tier. They split it into 3, but I like the way you're describing 5th doing it, actually specifying the geo importance of your character.
Yeah, it's much more story based. Mm-hmm. As far as I think it's only in the DM's guide too. It's not mechanically focused necessarily.
Yeah,
it's pretty good stuff. But so
bizarre.
It is bizarre, but good.
Yeah,
like eating French fries with mayonnaise.
Yeah, like John Lithgow wizard.
Like John Lithgow. Period.
Oh, there you go.
Not allowing people to dance in the Footloose town.
Throwing stuff at a Sasquatch and yelling at it.
Oh, John Lithgow did that?
I'm 90% sure.
Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah. Get out of here. Throwing things.
He hated Harry.
Yeah, but in that moment, it was really emotionally wrenching because you knew deep down he loved him, but he just needed him to go.
Oh, that's the end of that movie.
Yeah.
And then all of the other Sasquatches appear out of the forest.
And they're all like...
That's some real That's some like emotionally scarring bad childhood shit right there.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we were able to, tell our audience about this to maybe warn them about watching an early 90s, mid 90s movie.
Yeah, check out our sponsored link for Harry and the Hendersons. Shout out to Harry and the Hendersons corporate for sponsoring this episode. We really appreciate that. Of course, now on YouTube, we have to say when we're sponsored, so that's John Lithgow and Harry and the Hendersons.
That's what happens when you make it 6 episodes. You sell out at one point or another,
Yeah, you see yourself become the villain, just like... I'm going to tie it back in. Let's get there. Just like this dude, Realtar?
Sure.
Question mark? Everyone's got a bunch of vowels in their name.
Mm-hmm.
But so in Dave Vaughan's stuff, we see, I found a bunch of scrolls that are a bunch of letters. And like, for everybody else, the letters that we find are like communications of like, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. For this one, this is like big level stuff.
Yeah.
It's like telling him how to run the mine and like how to make sure that specific organizations are being operated. And so now I knew. I opened that up. I saw that guy's name. I saw this dude named Saravok. I saw the Iron Throne. All this stuff gets mentioned.
Some upper level players here.
Upper level division. This is the varsity team.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the hell out of there. We talked at the end of the last episode about flooding the mine and where we were on that position. And I'd already freed all the slaves. I did that, and I ended up wandering around forever trying to figure out how to flood the mine. Did you find that easy?
Yeah, real easy, because if you remember from last episode, I saw that door.
Oh, that's right.
And I saw it on the way. So I just went back there and popped in the plug, and then a cinematic played, and I appeared outside the mine.
So this is even worse. I saw the door and talked to the guy, and I didn't realize I had to talk to him a second time. So I like tried to interact with the door over and over again, and it wouldn't work. And so then I was like, oh, maybe I'm missing an item. And so I wandered around the whole complex, and I couldn't find the item. And I went back and like clicked on it some more, and I was like, oh, maybe if I save and load my game. So I do that, and no, you just had to talk to that guy a second time.
Damn.
Yeah, so I burned a good 15 minutes doing that. But I got to have a weird little dream.
Yeah, I had this dream too. The dreams are getting more and more morbid.
Mm-hmm.
This was a pretty bloody dream.
It was all about blood. Tell me about the dream.
Yeah, so basically you see this gargantuan torrent of blood that is virtually over the entire continent, or at least over the entire Sword Coast. And you see it's, you can sense it's like, inner currents and whatnot, and you're caught in it, you're caught on it. And then you begin to realize, oh, well, I can kind of direct this where I want it to go. And then you kind of start feeling high and mighty, and you're like, oh, well, I'm just the captain of this little ship. I'm real strong. I've got some mental fortitude. I can do whatever I want. And then I think the dream says at the end, almost as if the torrent itself sensed your self-confidence, a wave comes out of nowhere and like splashes you.
Yeah,
it gets blood all over you, and then you wake up.
Yeah, there's like a sweet skull. So yeah, this is some like high metaphor stuff.
Yeah,
like our previous streams, you're just murdering people that you'd already murdered before. That's pretty straightforward as far as dreams go, I think. This is like some real metaphysics of blood stuff.
So yeah, I guess that we're getting pointed in a direction here, story-wise. There are 2 types of D&D stories.
Mm-hmm.
And in one type, you are genuinely some dirt farmer, and a huge part of the game is rising from your lowly station and becoming something special, right?
Hero's journey.
Exactly.
Out of the dirt farm.
Out of the dirt farm and into another farm that's better.
Mm-hmm. The celestial planetar farm.
Yeah. And the other type of story is you are special, and you have to, and like the journey is figuring out why it is that you are special.
It's getting to the dirt farm.
It's getting to the dirt farm from wherever you were, say Candlekeep.
Yep.
Say it's like a book farm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these dreams and a lot of other factors are pointing us to the latter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And already we've seen that a little bit. The guy who killed Gorion had a little bit to do with that. And yeah. So I think we're getting closer to a little bit of plot info that I think is good.
That being said, we set a goal to go to Baldur's Gate this episode, kind of because that's where we were getting pointed to.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think Kunzelman and I were really like advancing the main plot this episode.
No.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I wanted to.
I did too. Because here I am. I promised to smite a Tazok. That's like a plot important character, supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't make it very far in the main plot of the game. I played for several hours, and didn't get a whole lot done. But I think that's okay because I think interesting things happened. But first, let's talk about a new segment of the show that I'm calling the Elminster Minute.
Oh man.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Well, what's this about?
So I'm gonna speak for exactly 1 minute about Elminster.
Oh, cool.
And so yeah, I've been reading this book called Elminster: The Making of a Mage, or something like that. It's like the first Ed Greenwood Elminster book, and this is what I've learned about Elminster so far. Elminster was born. he was literally a dirt farmer, or he was like a sheep herder. And lo and behold, I cannot believe I did not think about this at all when you just said that a minute ago. But lo and behold, his father is a prince of a kingdom that has been overtaken by mage lords. And Elminster didn't know that, and his dad retired and abdicated the throne. And the book opens with Elminster's whole family and village being murdered by a mage lord. And so he swears vengeance to kill mage lords, and up till now he's just some like crappy burglar kid thief. All right.
Damn.
That's all we know about Elminster so far. That was the Elminster Minute.
Oh man,
that was 1 minute of Elminster. That's all you get. You gotta wait for next episode.
Wow. So but come episode 500, as we're working our way through I guess the expansion of Baldur's Gate 2. These minutes will accumulate.
It'll be 500 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's probably one whole book.
Yeah. So
I swear to God, what I just said, that's the first 5 pages. Ed Greenwood really he goes through it pretty quick.
Okay. Well, fun.
So what did you do instead of advancing the plot forward?
Well, I just started working my way towards Baldur's Gate. You can't go directly to the city. You have to explore 2 little areas first. That kind of get you there. The first is a little rural area. There's some fishermen. There's a pit in the middle. There's another farmstead. And that leads to a bridge area, and you have to cross that bridge to get to Baldur's Gate.
It's called the Wyvern's Way or something like that.
Yep. Rin's Way.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But yeah, so that's more or less how I started. But before we get into that, I know everybody listening, I hope, if you don't know what Balthazar's party composition is, I implore you to listen to the rest of the series, because statistically, if you've gotten this far, you're probably going to listen to the whole episode. Right?
I don't know. I think we have a lot of people who listened to episode 5 who did not listen to episodes 2 through 4.
Well, Balthazar is much like that John Mayer song. He's walking like a one-man army. And that's his party composition. It's just Balthazar. But before we continue, what is Ticklevar's party composition right now?
Yeah, if you haven't listened to this before, Danny's character is named Balthazar. My character is named Ticklevar. His is a barbarian, half-orc barbarian, right? And mine is I want to say human. I don't actually know what his race is, but a human sorcerer, which has been a real struggle so far. It's getting better, actually. I took the advice of a commenter on our last video. Thank you so much. Who said, hey, maybe quit having your sorcerer doing melee combat and give him some ranged weapons, some darts, and I'm doing really good now. Like, real good. I didn't die a single time.
Well, who'd have thunk it?
Who would? Well, literally anyone, apparently. But one viewer who's paying close attention, viewer/listener. So, Ticklefar's party composition is, as decreed in the last episode, Ticklefar, Danni here, who is a mage, Minsk, who is a fighter ranger, I want to say. That other ranger, whose name I cannot remember. Kivan. And then I had Khalid and Jaheira. But after the last episode where Khalid just ran away. He was cowardly multiple times. I was so mad about it that I spent probably a full hour of playtime this time getting rid of them and then going and getting Branwen. So Branwen, if you remember back to our episode about the Nashkel Carnival, Branwen was turned to stone, and
if you turned her back, you got to keep her.
Well, that's a weird way of putting it, but yeah.
Look, there's some heavy trafficking stuff happening here.
No, she pledges herself to helping you out because she wants to kill Tranzig. And Tranzig was the person who was like the intermediary between all the different bad guys.
Sure.
So I've already killed him, so I don't actually know what's gonna go on with that. I don't know if that's like resolved for her or not. But so she's a cleric and she's rad. I got her in full plate mail. We're doing it.
That's awesome. I hope that because you have already killed this person, I hope that in the middle of combat one day, she doesn't just say, well, I guess you aren't going to cooperate with me, and then she just wills herself back to stone in the middle of combat.
I fully expect that the game will remove her forcibly from my party for not completing her mission that I've already completed. Like, I believe that will occur. But so then, also, like I said in the last episode, I went and got Viconia. If you allow Viconia in your party, because A, she is evil, which I guess is a problem, and B, she is being pursued by the Flaming Fist, and C, she is a drow, which is like a dark-skinned evil elf. There are a lot of problems with just the basic concept of the drow, I think.
A lot of racism in the Forgotten Realms.
A lot of racism, a lot of like our world structural racism imported into the Forgotten Realms without a lot of reflexivity, maybe. We could say that.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of things like associating dark skin tone with pure unadulterated evil. Maybe that's a problem.
Sure.
Things like that. But
also a lot of like very unscientific things about why you would get dark skin colors in a utterly subterranean. I don't know, right? There's like, I don't know what the science behind this is, but I don't think anybody ever really thought about that.
This is our second new segment called the Drow Minute.
Drow Minute? I thought we were getting very close to like weird Forgotten Realms bio-truths for like a hot minute there, but whichever.
That's true. No, but yeah, so the Drow are an underground. They're from the Underdark, which we will see quite a bit of in Baldur's Gate 2. That's a little like preview for next year. So when you add her to your party, she is immediately or she causes you to suffer a 2 reputation drop. Just by like hanging out with her. And she's really nice to begin with. Like Viconia in my mind, I guess I have a better impression of the Baldur's Gate 2 Viconia because she shows up again. And she's like got a lot of dialogue. And she says lots of stuff, and she's like kind of mean and sarcastic and funny. But in this game, I rescued her from the Flaming Fist, who were pursuing her, And she was just like, yes, thank you. You saved my life. And then when I added her to my party, she was like, surface dwellers are stupid. Yeah, that's like her little like bark thing that she did. So, yeah.
Well, you've got to... First impressions are what's important, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true. Mm-hmm. It's 9/10 of the law, I think. All right, so that's what I did. What did Balthazar get up to while I was running around the Sword Coast finding new buddies?
Well, I went to Onkeg Town.
What? Okay, so A, what's that? B, where's that? C, what's an Onkeg?
Well, let's start with C.
Oh, well, I ordered them that way on purpose, but okay.
Well, I don't know, what's that? Well, Onkeg Town is the town of Onkegs, and I feel like just saying that without knowing what an Onkeg is hard. But B, it's in that little zone just south of the bridge to Baldur's Gate. Mm-hmm. It's right smack in the middle of it.
Okay.
And it's a hole in the ground.
I saw it. I walked by it, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be in the video right here somewhere.
In typical Ticklevar fashion, you looked in that hole and you're like, well, that doesn't seem necessary or safe. Mm-hmm. And then you just strolled past it.
I paused for a minute and then I walked on by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just rolled down there, and they are large burrowing bugs.
Sounds right.
That is what a Onkeg is. They have big mandibles. In Baldur's Gate, when they pop out of the ground, they just kind of burrow up. And they don't really move around, so if they want to move, they got to like burrow back down, and then they'll reappear somewhere. And they spit acid at you. And
not at me.
Well, they spit acid at one, if one is nearby. And Balthazar scored his highest critical hit against one when he hit one for 55.
So why are you killing those things?
Well, I just went in the hole and they attacked me and I defended myself.
It seems like you went into their town.
Well, I was looking around. They didn't have a sign that says keep out.
Are they capable of speech?
Well, that sounds like an Onkeg problem to me.
Oh. Okay. Well, so you did that. Was there any treasure?
There was actually, it's very strange. Every Onkeg drops an Onkeg shell. Mm-hmm. Which weighs a ton. They weigh 20 or 50 each.
Yep.
Can't carry very many. And they also drop a piece of jewelry. Every single one will drop a piece of jewelry.
Like a necklace?
Like a necklace, like a ring, yeah. I don't know what the explanation for that is. I don't know if it's like a loot table gone crazy. There is a little hidey hole of treasure in the northeast corner of Onkeg Town. Mm-hmm. And there is a corpse in it. And like the second I saw the corpse, I was like, well, there's a farm nearby and some dad's lost his kid.
Oh, God.
So,
is that true?
Yeah, 100%. I just chuck the corpse on my shoulder and walk out and like do a quick little spiral outward. And there's a old man, Braun, I think. And he's like, have you seen my boy? And I was like, let me get out of this dialogue and then reinitiate. Yeah, I got your boy.
Dang.
So, yeah, bummer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he had a reward. It was just like, I'm really sad.
The reward was the knowledge that you gave him, his own knowledge of his child being dead.
This is a lot of knowledge. That's a real knowledge bomb.
It's a little chain, yeah.
Fun fact about the Onkegs, and maybe this will give you a little bit of motivation.
Is this really a fun fact?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can take that shell to Baragost, give it to the blacksmith. You've got to, when the dialogue option, you got to do it right. Initially, he offers you 400 gold for the Onkeg shell, and you got to be like, I don't feel like parting with it. And he's like, well, I'll give you, look, if you give me 4,000 gold and the Onkeg shell, I'll make you some really great armor.
Dang. Is it better than full plate?
It is. I think that it's plate armor, but druids can wear it, and it's way, way lighter. So it's a really good option for a cleric like Viconia with low strength, because it's incredibly lightweight and it has a low strength requirement.
Gotcha.
That I don't think. Yeah, so I did that, and barbarians can't wear plate.
Oh.
So even though druids could wear this, barbarians still cannot. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, Branwen is decked out in full plate and like a shield and everything, which is cool, but also can only carry like 13 more pounds of gear.
Yeah.
And so she has been carrying jewelry and potions.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the jewelry bag?
Oh, heck yeah, dude. You buy that.
Do you have the potion satchel?
No, I don't have a potion satchel or a scroll case, and I'm not sure if there is a scroll case in this game.
There is. I have all
okay.
3.
Dang, where'd you get them?
So I got the scroll case from that Wizard in Hedge Keep.
Okay.
You got to just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the... I think I got the... No. That might have been the potion case.
Okay.
And I think I got the scroll case from a character. Like, did I get the jewelry bag from that wild mage, maybe? Like, I think the wild mage, when you recruit her, she has one of those items.
But would you have recruited her with your current Balthazar?
I did not, but she was killed by those red wizards.
You stood by and watched her die.
Well, it was kind of like, to be honest, it was genuinely, she was just like one out of 10 times she just dies in that fight.
I don't know where I got it. I think I bought mine, but it's good to know the other ones are in there. Yeah, those were not in, if memory serves, they were not in the original Baldur's Gate 1.
They might not have been.
They were in Baldur's Gate 2, and now they've been imported back.
They are a huge quality of life improvement when you only have one character, let me tell you.
Yeah, if people are not aware of these, what they are is, so normally, like, each gem would take up 1 inventory slot, and I guess you've got, like, 24 inventory slots?
Somewhere around
20
there,
inventory slots. And so what they are is they are their own inventory slot, and you can just put stuff inside of them. I think they're basically like a shopkeeper. Like, it's the same interface.
Correct, and you can just like drop them in there. Mm-hmm. Like if you from your inventory, you can pick up a gem and just click the gem bag, and it'll just pop right in there.
Yeah, I have like $400,000 worth of gold or of gems and stuff in there. Yeah. I've never taken a thing out that I've put in there. Speaking of like weird amounts of money, so I have an embarrassing amount of gold at this point.
Yeah, I haven't spent any.
I've spent a lot, and I still have a lot, because I got the robes of the evil archmagi.
Me too.
And you saw those sell for 10,000 gold.
They do.
And I did.
And there you go.
And now I'm rich.
Yeah, are you gonna retire now?
Mm-hmm. So
screw this Iron Throne business. I'm going to Icewind Dale.
I'm buying my own Iron Throne.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy the biggest Iron Throne.
Mm-hmm.
Sit in it.
Damn.
So you did that. You went to Oncake Town. Before I got to that part of the game, I met this dude named Ted in the woods.
Huh.
And Ted was just telling me stuff, and then he was telling me to go to Firewine Bridge, like everyone else is telling me to go to Firewine Bridge. So at some point, I'm going to go do that side quest, and I'll report back.
Okay.
Because that's where, like, the Halfling village is and all of that.
Oh, man, I don't even know about that.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I don't actually know where it is, but multiple, like, commoners have mentioned it to me.
Okay.
So. But you went to Oncake Town, and,
and
you
then
saw
after
a priestess.
That, I saw some fishermen.
Oh.
There were 3 of them, and they were arguing, and they said that this, I think they used the B word.
They did. Well, because Umberlee is called, canonically, the Bitch Queen.
Okay, so they weren't just slurring.
No, they were. That's the weird thing about this. The first instance, they're being jerk faces. The second time, they're using the proper name.
Okay.
So it's a weird...
So both and.
Yeah, it is a both and scenario.
But yeah, so Umberlee, I think her domain is like storms and the sea, basically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're saying, oh, she's really messing us up, and she like drowned 2 of our buddies, and you know who's responsible? This priestess, this person who's real mean, and could you please take care of this? And I said, well, look, if like there's just some priestess that's drowning people, I'll go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to go north to the bridge area and her little hut. is to the right, and I go and talk to her, and I'm like, hey, these fishermen sent me to figure this out. And I find out that, like probably half of the quests in this game, the person that sent you on the quest is really the bad guy, right?
Yeah, I would say...
This is like a theme.
Yeah. Basically, anyone who sends you to do anything is only giving you partial information.
Sure.
And I don't know why that would be true. It's like as if you couldn't check.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's a very strange set of assumptions. Maybe what my assumption, from a development perspective, would be that, the different chunks of the game, different areas of the game, developed by different people. This is a cool way, or at least an interesting way, if used a couple times, to complicate the quest narrative, right?
Sure.
You go somewhere, what you think is true is not true. It's more complicated. You got to make a morally gray decision, right? That can be really cool, and that gets used in some really cool ways, at least in Baldur's Gate 2, if not later in this game, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like there wasn't a lot of, confirmation between those sectors of writing and development.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, everyone used it a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, or maybe we are just being run through a simulation the game has, devised to simulate being the most naive, 20-year-old from Candlekeep who's never been exposed to the world.
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm. That someone who's grown up in a land of milk and honey and old books would just be very trusting of the first thing that someone said.
Yeah.
That could be true.
Yeah.
I buy that.
But yeah, so the priestess sets me straight. Hey, these guys stole my special bowl, and they're misusing it, and they killed my mom, literally.
Mm-hmm.
They killed my mom, and they stole her bowl.
Did you look at your journal for this?
I did not.
So I did. I don't remember why I did. Maybe I was trying to figure out what the next stage actually was, because I kind of clicked through it pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And in the journal, it said that she was 12 years old.
Yeah, you did not. You could not tell that. There are children models in this game, but she was a fully grown model from what I saw.
So what'd you do after that?
Well, I went back and I told them, hey, I know what your deal is. You guys stole her bowl, so give it back. And they're like, well, I guess we'll give it back. And they did. And then I brought the bowl back.
That's pretty uneventful.
Yeah.
As far as it goes. They just gave it up?
Yeah, they just gave it up. They did say, hey, we're working for Talos. And that's another god, kind of a storm god.
It is.
Like a Thor-type figure, like storms and warriors and such. So there are a lot of gods and goddesses in the Forgotten Realms world, the Forgotten Realms universe, that have... There's a lot of redundancy in divine domains. So you'll have these kind of turf wars that gods participate in. Umberlee's a little bit of storm, Talos is a little bit of storm. Well, who's the real storm god? So they have these rivalries based on those things.
Yeah, I was looking really quick on my Googles here. I'm pretty sure that Umberlee has a sister.
Maybe.
Oh, no. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It gets there's a very particular when we get to this point in Baldur's Gate 2 where we do the cleric's quest or whatever, we'll get to refer back to this moment because Umberlee is very important for that too, and so is Talos and Helm. There's a little power rivalry that goes on between those three.
Yeah, tune in for our lore episode X episodes from now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll edit X to be the correct number.
I won't do that.
Post.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So, before I fill you in on how I handled this quest, which is definitely 1,000% different, we are doing a lore episode.
So I'm not just making that up?
I mean, not on Umberlee in particular, but have you started reading your book yet?
We have, and it starts with gods.
Mm-hmm.
So we will definitely be talking about them because that's kind of what the trilogy is about.
If you need a long lead up for this, if you want to be able to read these books along with us and talk about them in like X number of episodes, I'm going to go back and change X to the right number. Then you should read the book. What is the first one? Shadowdale?
That's correct.
Shadowdale in the Avatar trilogy.
And we'll include, I guess, some links in the description of this video. That, like has the links to like an eco-friendly bookstore near you where you can get that book used to for the minimal environmental impact, and also or an Amazon link, whichever.
So back to the fisherman quest.
Yeah, you did it differently. What'd you do?
So I go up to her and she tells me, "Hey, you're doing this wrong." And I go, "Well, I'm gonna go back and give those fishermen the what for. But first, I'm gonna go in your house and see what's in there." So I go in her house. I kind of rummage around. I cast knock because I don't have a thief to like unlock anything, and so I've got my wizard, and she unlocks some stuff for me, and I find some diamonds. I think. It's some good loot. I go back outside. I'm ready. And she just aggroes me like as soon as I come outside, and then my party kills her immediately. And then I just wandered away. I didn't bother going back to the fisherman.
Well, there you go. Weird. I went in her house and I broke into everything too. That did not happen.
I have no idea what happened or why. She was not hostile when I went inside, so I don't know. I have no idea.
So yeah, there was a point where she did attack me too, and like I got her to half health, and that's when she broke down and told me the news.
Yep, I did that part too already.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There's video evidence of me not being in the wrong.
Maybe knock is really loud.
It could be. It could sound like I'm trying to like terminate her from inside her own home.
Yeah.
That'd make me wary.
Well, darn.
All right, so you crossed the bridge, right? Or did you do other stuff in?
Nah, I think I went back and I turned that Ankeg casing, that Ankeg shell into armor, and then I realized I couldn't use it, and I put it in my barrel in Baragost.
You have
Baragost.
Let's explain that real quick.
Yeah, there's a barrel in Baragost that I keep like extra stuff because I only have one inventory because I only have one character. So, like, I got a pair of boots that give me electricity resistance, and I don't want to throw those away. What if I need them one day?
And it's just a barrel that you throw your crap in?
Yeah, and no one else. Well, I feel like everybody knows not to look in it
because you would smash them into tiny bits.
I think that they've seen what happens.
Yeah, they probably heard it from miles away.
From miles away? Is that thunder? No. It's just Balthazar on a quest.
He's just smashing orcs to death.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you didn't talk to the Ankeg woman? It's like standing in the middle of the street?
Oh, yeah. No, I talked to her after I killed every Ankeg in that zone because I did a spiral thing. And she's kind of like on the center.
She's right in the middle, yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, good job!" And then she like gave me 75 gold. So I guess that was a bonus. Yeah,
she's like an Ankeg forester. If you pay attention to what she says,
yeah,
because they're good for the crops. They poop.
Why is she paying me for killing them?
Because you're only supposed to kill like 60% of them or something.
You're supposed to. It's a controlled burn here.
Yeah, it's exactly. She explains it. I didn't see a single Ankeg, but I did talk to her, and then I ran away because I didn't want to deal with any of it.
All you had to do is like go 20 feet to the east.
I didn't do that.
There would have been 2.
I didn't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So scampered on across the bridge, over to the titular Baldur's Gate.
Whoa!
We're
finally here. Somebody take a picture of how long it took. What's our timestamp here? What, 40 minutes or so? Who knows?
Well, it took us this long because I didn't do very much here. That's going to be the next episode. Baldur's Gate expansion episode. Really just getting in the city here.
Yeah.
But all right, so the first thing that happens is a guy comes out. And
Yeah,
he
well, a
says-
door is blocked, and you have no choice but to interact with
talk
this
to the
human.
guy. Talk to the guy. And he says, "Where are you from?" And I said I was from Baragost. Because you have
I
a
said
little option.
Candlekeep, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't want people to know I'm from Candlekeep. And so this dude comes out and he says, "Hey, my name is Scar. I'm the Flaming Fist, second in command. And I think there's like all kinds of bad stuff going on here, and I need an outside agent to help me out." And so he says, "You need to go to the Seven Sons Trading Coster." Sidebar, I have no idea what a coster is.
Yeah, I knew right after I read that, I was like, well, if we talk about this, I'm just going to say the Seven Sons Trading Group.
I've never seen it. But anyway, Seven Sons Trading Coster, because they've been acting weird, they've been selling off their valuable properties, they've been ignoring the properties that they have. It's just like bad business for everybody. And so Scar's like just unhappy about it. And apparently the dude who owns the trading coster is like one of his friends. And so he went to talk to him, and that guy like blew him off in a weird way, and it freaked him out. So he can't officially investigate them. So
because that would be a huge waste of government resources.
to investigate
Based on the story he just told. Well, there's a business and my friend's in it and it's acting weird. So let's open a multi-million gold investigation and audit it.
Yeah,
No, that would be bad. You would need to get a group of outsiders because at least they wouldn't like tell on you.
Yeah, I have no interest in telling on anyone. But interesting enough, in the middle of that conversation, there is a prompt to like info dump on him everything you know about the Iron Throne. And he just goes, "Oh yeah, that's interesting." Anyway,
I did that.
So the Seven Sons Trading Coster.
Yeah, I did that too. He's like, boy, well, that's above my pay grade. So,
Well, whatever. So anyway, I agreed to do that, and that's like kind of the next big chunk of the main quest. Is to go do that. But I walked into Baldur's Gate. I was like, heck yes, I'm going to do some side quests. Let's do it. And I go inside, and guess who's there? Our old friend, Elminster.
again.
Again, one more time. And he says, "Hey, are you a murderer? Or are you cool now?"
But he says it in like 7 dialogue boxes in the most like roundabout way, and he even like references, "Oh, your stepdad, your godfather Gorian, he really hated the way I spoke because it takes forever for me to say what the things that I mean." And I'm like, boy, I can tell.
And yeah, no,
That's
it's
bad.
factually correct. And so he, you can, and it's really weird, the conversation, you can only respond in like a huge jerk way. You can be like, "Shut up, Elminster," or you can be like very nice.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess with Elminster.
No.
Like at
we've
all.
we've talked about this. I think this was like episode 1. We
Yeah.
talked about this.
Zero interest in that. So anyway, I do that. I kind of wandered around a little bit there, and then I talked to a thief who was hanging out in the street, and he was like, "Hey, I'll give you 50 gold to come talk to my boss." And so I said, "I'm going to talk to your boss. I need that money. I need that, I was going to say paper, but tiny metal bits. I need them bits." So I went and talked to the Thieves Guild. Did you do this quest?
I did do the quest because the thief is just the first big quest giver you get when you enter Baldur's Gate, like if you just go on the main road, and B, because you were like, do the Thieves Guild quests before we started recording.
I
So
did say that, yeah. Kind of seeded
let's
that in there.
Let's be transparent.
All right, well, you tell me how'd it go for you?
So I talked to, I guess, the leader, or at least a general of the Thieves Guild, which, if you don't know about D&D tropes, every city has a organized crime unit, basically, that everyone knows, like, exactly where they're headquartered, but they still get away with everything they do. It's a very confusing institution, these guilds. But anyway, this fellow says, "Hey, we need you to get these components for a special flying machine that this mage, Oberon, is building." That's more or less like what I get, and like his daughters have them, and maybe you can like sly talk them.
Oh wait, so it's not Oberyn. We need to have a factual intervention here. The mage's name is Chandalar.
That's right. But they're being kept in Oberyn's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Chandalar
correct.
is the name of a plane in Magic the Gathering.
I'll be damned.
I don't know what to do with that information.
I don't know what I'm doing with that information.
But I recognized it immediately. It was very strange. Anyway, so there's a Halruin there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, look, they stole the plans for this. I don't want people flying around in our special Halruin skyships.
That's right.
So you got to go get this. It's like a book, a statue, and like an artifact.
Yeah. Like a stone.
Mm-hmm. So you got to go get them from Chandalar's daughters.
Yeah, and you're kind of said they tell you, hey, you've got the feel free to use any resources we have in the guild to complete this task, and I'll give you 10 days to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk to anyone in the Thieves Guild. I go outside, find Oberyn's house, which is like in the center of the map, like one little zone over, and I walk in, and there's looks like a maid there.
How did you get inside?
I walked in the door.
The door was locked for me.
I used my sword.
Oh, because you can smash things apart. You can smash them open.
I'm very strong. And I think that, like, if I so chose, I could, like, go berserk and then use my sword, and then it'll probably open. Right?
Dang. I had my wizard blasted open with knock, and then I thought, oh, no, we might get in trouble. And I, like, stood around for a minute, and nothing bad happened, so we went in.
Mm-hmm. And I posed as a new hire, like janitorial staff for the manor.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up 2 stairs, because there was nothing below those 2 stairs. There's like nothing on the ground floor, nothing on the second floor, except the Oberyn, like of the titular Oberyn Manor. And I go up to the 3rd one, and there are 3 women up there. And they're having a conversation that I'm kind of like eavesdropping in on for a while, and they're super bored. One of them's super bored about having to like watch these artifacts. And another one's like, hey, you need to chill out and be patient, like our other sister. And they have a little talk, and then they say, hey, I know who you are. You are not a servant. And you have 3 dialogue options. And the first is, give me the fucking artifacts or I'm going to murder you. Right? That's the first one.
I tried that the first time.
And 3 guards spawn if you do that. And then you have to fight the 3 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is, I really am a servant. Please don't mind me. I'll leave. In which case they will attack you.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one is, hey, I'm not here to steal anything. I will pay good money for those artifacts. In which case they would attack you. So, them's the situations.
So you get attacked no matter what. I wonder if you, or at least in the way that both of us did it, I was also attacked. I wonder if you have a thief or if you have a character that is invisible, if you can just wander on in there and grab it.
You could also, you can, apparently, I remember from an older playthrough, if you talk to more thieves in the Thieves Guild before you go, you can get tools, information, resources on how to, like, win them over.
So it, like, unlocks some dialogue options, maybe?
I think unlock dialogue options or give you some item that would trigger a dialogue option, something like that.
Oh, okay.
So, I think the first time I just said I'm not a servant, or I am a servant. I'm not a thief, and they attack me, and I just murder them, like real bad. And then I'm like, well, this seems weird. So I'd like reload and try the other options. And the first option is inherently worse because when you kill the guards, you take reputation hit. You take like a total of 15 for the 3 guards, I think, and it's like 10, then 5, then 0 for some reason. So I reload and I don't do that. So I kill them all and I find the artifact somewhere. I can't remember where the artifacts
They're
were.
like all in a desk.
Yeah, they're in the desk and in the same place, and there's some like coin there too. And then I head back to the Thieves Guild. So we're like in line here. We're doing the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did the same. Yeah, my fight was, I think I had to do it 2 times. It was a lot easier than a lot of fights. I thought there was a much easier fight than 90% of the ones I've done so far in this game.
Which is unusual for 3 spellcasters, right? Because they're all spellcasters.
Yeah. No, I think something about like having the double cleric and 2 wizard, like sorcerer and wizard, like we're able to put out a lot of damage and status effects very quickly. So I like hold personed one of them immediately to kind of lock it down, and then I like double magic missiled another one like to death immediately. Kivan could basically one-shot people with his +1 arrows. Yeah, he's brutal. He's got like a +2 longbow from something.
Shit.
Oh, it's the +2 longbow from Tazok's, the archer that was in Tazok's tent.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like, Kivan is like definitely doing 60% of the damage for my whole team. Minsk is dual wielding, +1 maces. Because he's got proficiency in that. I don't know. I've made some weird choices, but yeah, it was much easier than normal. So yeah, I go back to the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, and I talked to the person that gave me that, and they're like, yeah, a little rough around the edges, which is like an indication that, hey, there was a way to do this quest without killing people. And he said, yeah, talk to that Halloran Mage to get your reward. And then the Halloran Mage is like, well, it's so inconvenient that you killed these people, because I'm going to have to like eliminate all the loose ends, and you're a loose end, sucker. And then he casts like mirror image and starts casting spells at me, so I have to go berserk and then kill him.
And I killed him super easy as well. Like, all of my fights in Baldur's Gate have been maybe the easiest fights in the game for me so far.
Yeah. Also, this is post-party composition change, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what, chicken or the egg, maybe.
And then the real fun thing, so after I kill Halloran the Halloran Mage, and I loot his body, and I go back to the leader of the rogue thing, and I say, what is the deal? And he's like, yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't going to defend you or anything because he's really powerful, but man, if you can kill that guy, you just have the run of the place.
Yeah, I love that. He was like, if you can kill that guy, I'm not even gonna... I think he actually says something like, you could probably kill everybody here. He's pretty explicit.
Which you can, funnily enough, because the first time I went to the Thieves Guild, I had not yet talked to the fellow in the street. And I did not know the code word. And I got it wrong. And then I asked again. And then I got it wrong a second time. And then the thief attacked me. And then I said, well, let's see how this goes. And I just went into the Thieves Guild and murdered everyone in there. And it was not difficult.
Dang.
Yeah. So then I reloaded because I was
really putting the title in our title.
I know. And the kind of cruel twist of fate irony with regards to the main storyline that we haven't really gotten to. Oh boy.
And we'll find out.
We will. But yeah, that's kind of where I had it. Did you do anything else?
No, I didn't. I did get a story hook, and this is like a hook that I'm just gonna mention here, and it's in the show notes. So I talked to someone on the street who told me that there was a mage, someone, I think it's a mage, named Ragefest or Ragefast. I can't read my own handwriting where I wrote it down. And he's apparently enslaved a nymph and is keeping her in his home. And so that seems like some real... We were talking about these like weird... like someone tells you something, you go there and the information's different. Those kinds of quests. This seems like this is going to be one of those quests.
The nymph is actually in control of Ragefest.
I don't know, something,
who knows?
So
or it's just genuine, like an evil wizard.
An evil wizard. Yeah, it could be. Could go either way. I'm going to find out. So that's going to be...
We'll all find out.
Well, no, I'm going to find out. I won't tell anyone.
Okay.
I'm going to write it on a little scroll. I'm going to put it in a bottle. I'm going to throw it in the ocean.
Or we could talk about it next episode, and you could just beep all of that out.
Oh, I'll do that. Just like 8 solid minutes of beep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be the first thing I talk about in the next episode.
Fun.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's it for this bye week.
Yeah.
For this 10-day.
I guess if you are following along, I think next episode we'll probably end up doing a little bit of that Seven Sons trading coster action.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna
and maybe like a side quest on the side, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's so many side quests in Baldur's Gate that if you just do the main storyline and then you do the side quests after, like there might be more side quest content in Baldur's Gate than there is main quest.
Mm-hmm. There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit. So yeah, if you're playing along, next episode we're going to be doing the trading coster and then a couple side quests, and after that, I have a pretty good idea of like what the game looks like up until the end now. Like I have that. That's kind of etched into my memory better than the early game is for some reason. But yeah, cool. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please share it with people. We're really surprised by the kind of response that we've gotten, especially for that last episode. But we're really impressed every single episode. We really appreciate all the really nice comments that we get. And we like talking to people in the comments. That's strange. Historically,
very strange.
Who would ever want to talk in the comments? But I enjoy talking to the people that listen and watch the show. So thank you for doing that, commenting. And thanks for watching and listening. And so yeah. Oh, this is something that's worth thinking about. I think for the last episode of Baldur's Gate 1, I want to do a thing where people write in and tell us the best stuff in the game that we missed. I think it'd be cool. Just like things that we did not see, that we didn't talk about, and then we'll just talk about it then. We won't experience it, but we can talk about it.
Okay. No, that sounds really great. And to piggyback a little bit off of what you were saying earlier, we do really appreciate the comments. And, you know, I was looking around the internet the other day, and, you know, a lot of commentary on YouTube videos is pretty rude.
Oh,
and I was telling Councilman, man, the people that comment on our videos are so nice and are such great people. And we really appreciate it.
They're not rude.
They're not.
They provide helpful gameplay tips.
Sometimes game-changing tips.
Truly game-changing tips for many of us. Did you know that acid
interrupts spellcasting?
Yeah,
That's
this is
crazy.
from Reddit, but yeah, I had no idea. Blew my mind.
How great.
It is. So anyway, yeah, thanks for doing that. This is our 5 minutes where we talk about this. If you really like the show, sharing it on Facebook, sharing it on Twitter, sharing it on Reddit, sharing it on the forum of your choice. That's actually really, really big. Telling one person that you think might like the show that they might like it and to listen to it, that's really, really big too. Like those little things, we don't spend any money on advertising for this, of course, and I just tweet it out and it goes up on Reddit. So those are the only things that like we do to make sure it's going, and that's really cool. But literally taking 10 seconds out of your day to post this is like really, really big actually. So we really appreciate that when people do that.
And the Harry and the Hendersons sponsorship only goes to so far, you know?
Yeah, look, that's chump change as far as I'm concerned. That's for like, that's the kind of stuff that like a bean who doesn't wear pants would be okay with.
Who?
I'm sorry, that's Harry. That's not the Hendersons.
That's okay.
Yeah, he doesn't wear pants because he doesn't have to. He's a Sasquatch.
Like Donald Duck.
Well, okay. He's like Donald Duck in that he doesn't wear pants, or he's like Donald Duck in that Donald Duck is a Sasquatch.
Well, let's not even entertain the latter.
Okay, but yeah, so we'll see you again, or talk to you again, or you'll hear this again in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
So I'm Cameron.
And I'm Danny.
And this was Mages and Murderdads.
So saith the wise Alondo.